This is Ford's all-new subcompact SUV, the 2018 EcoSport. Well, sort of all new. Since 2012, it's been sold overseas. If you live in China, Russia, India, Brazil, Romania, you might already be driving one of these. And it might be 5 or 6 years old. I'm told the ones shipped over here are made in India, but the Windows sticker I got did not verify that. But frankly, I don't care where it's made, as long as it's made well. The quality of this one seems to be pretty good thus far. The base price for the entry level was originally advertised at $19,995. Now I see figures of $20,990. This was the top of the line titanium, which will run you approximately $28,000. The entry-level car comes with a 1-liter turbo engine putting out 123 horsepower. Fuel economy is listed at 27 city, 29 on the highway. The upgraded models like this one come with a 2-liter 4-cylinder putting out 166 horsepower. Comes standard with all-wheel drive. 23 city, 29 on the highway is what it's rated. And there is some good news. Instead of a horrible rubber band CVT automatic transmission, all of the EcoSports will come with a 6-speed automatic transmission. A lot easier to live with. The EcoSport faces a lot of tough competition. For instance, this Jeep Renegade, starting at $18,000. Although in all fairness, you do have to pay an extra $1,000 for air conditioning. Let's say 19 grand. Then we have the popular Honda HR-V, starting at $19,750. The Mazda CX-3 at $20,000. And the Kia Kona, starting around $20,000. And I might mention most of these vehicles I'm showing come standard with a 4-cylinder engine. And I've done videos on most of these. You can look up on YouTube if you want to see how they perform. Actually, in my humble opinion, I think the biggest competitor for the Ford EcoSport is the slightly larger Ford Escape. With its $23,500 base price tag, compared to the EcoSport with the larger engine, the price difference isn't that wide. So enough about the price and value. Let's just look at the vehicle itself and see what we're getting here. I do think this is a nice looking vehicle, especially in the baby blue paint. It is baby blue, right? Dark blue. And here's the rear view with a Michigan plate because they shipped it all the way from there to here just for you and me. When I first got this vehicle, I wasn't having much fun trying to open this rear door in 110-degree heat. No matter what button I pushed, nothing would happen. But here's the little secret. Reach up in the taillight. And no, the door does not swing up. It swings out. There you go. As you can see, there is some decent rear storage room. The second row seating, they do fold. I wasn't too happy to find out there's no spare tire, just a cheesy tire repair kit. That's the bad news. The good news is I contacted someone at Ford who told me yes, for $185 on the base model you can get a rear-mounted spare tire, but I don't know what that means. Rear-mounted where? This is a shame because we got lots of ground clearance here, so I wanted to take this for a little bit of off-roading. But it's kind of a risky thing to do when you don't have a spare and get a flat. So if you have any questions about a spare tire on the EcoSport, I suggest you get with your dealer for the latest information. If you watch my videos, you know one of the first things we do before we take a car on the road is test out the headlights. See how they do in the dark. This is a pretty nice looking unit, so let's take it out right now and see what happens. It's dark enough. Let's take these lights out and see what they do. They look bright enough from here anyway. Here we have the headlights on a building 100 feet away. Notice how the light rises on the right, stable in the middle and on the left. High beam's pretty bright. Here we have the brights on the building 300 feet away. A good wide spread. Plenty of light, no complaints. Go low beam, a bit on the weak side, reaches out around 200 feet. Adequate enough. Let's take a look at the cabin. I've noticed that some car reviewers have been telling you that the interior is substandard with low-grade materials, etc., etc. Not true. I don't know what they're talking about. There's nothing fancy in here, but the materials are quite sturdy. Workmanship is very good. It should be for a vehicle that's been made for the past 7 years. They have lots of practice. As far as materials and workmanship, I have no complaints whatsoever. The second row seating has room for 2 full-size adults if you move the seats forward for legroom. Unfortunately, if Oprah is sitting in the front seat, that seat's going to come all the way back and you're going to lose some legroom. Then becomes for small children or monkeys only. Sorry. The climate controls are easy to use, simple knobs and buttons. A decent sized navigation screen. The satellite radio is very easy to program. A very well designed gauge cluster. On the positive side, the sun visors do slide back and forth to help keep the sun out of the side windows, but the bad news is they only slide halfway. This is all you get. Something better than nothing, I guess. We get a real manually operated emergency brake with a big handle by your seat. Instead of that electric brake garbage we get on other cars nowadays. I like this. And we do get a disconnect switch for that annoying start-stop system, which fortunately never activated on this car anyway. Thank you. I can't stand these things. They don't save gas, by the way. 90% of the time anyway. We did have 2 complaints, and that's a lack of storage. We can start with this glove box, which is one of the smallest I've ever seen in my life. Pretty much useless. We do get a small console in between the seats. You can fit anything down there. It's pretty narrow, but at least it is deep. Otherwise, all your storage options are in cubby holes that are not covered up from onlookers who peek through the window and want to steal things. Here, here, and on the door here. It's really not a deal killer. If you have anything you want to hide, you can put it back here in the storage area. They do have a cargo cover. That will solve that problem. The second gripe is something I bitch about on all my videos when I find a dirt shelf under the door that collects all kinds of road debris. It's been raining all week, so it's pretty muddy. You've got all this mud on this shelf here, which can get on your pants when you step in and out of the vehicle. Fortunately, the rocker panel system under here isn't that wide, so 90% of the time you can step out without contacting this. So I'll cut them some slack. But still, I don't like this. If you have short legs, you might not either. Other than the 2 minor gripes, I have no complaints about the cabin whatsoever. I think it's pretty well done, and all the complaints we get from the other YouTube testers, I don't think they're valid. By the way, Ford sent me some paperwork on this vehicle, and this color is lightning blue, just for the record. And the reason I cannot give you an exact price on this test vehicle is because it states on the paperwork, vehicle not for sale. It belongs to the factory, so no price, but the figures I gave you at the beginning of the video from $20,000 to $28,000 are pretty accurate. This concludes the first half of the video, which we do the show and tell section. Now we're going to do part 2, doing some driving, and see how this performs on the street. And we're doing a lot of fuel economy testing as well. With a larger engine and all-wheel drive, this vehicle weighs around 3,300 pounds, so naturally I don't expect the 166 horsepower to turn this into a rocket on our 0 to 60 times. But we do have a sport mode, which is supposed to speed things up a bit. And according to the owner's manual, the upgraded models are supposed to have paddle shifters on the steering wheel, but I have the upgraded model, but I don't see any paddle shifters. Do you? There is a manual shift on the steering knob, however. We're going to leave it in automatic sport mode. Actually, the acceleration is really nothing to complain about, or than adequate. Very nice brakes. Usually, subcompact vehicles have a very stiff ride because of their short wheelbase. That's not necessarily true on this EcoSport. I found the ride and city driving to be very comfortable considering the size. But we haven't tested the speed bump impacts yet, so we're going to do that right now. By the way, if you hear a lot of rattling noises, I have a lot of stuff in this vehicle. It's not the car rattling, it's my stuff. Just for the record. Okay, let's do it. 25 miles per hour. Not bad. Didn't really feel it. Now we're at 30 miles per hour. Reasonably quiet. Here comes the big nasty bump. Not bad at all, really. I've had bigger vehicles that did far worse. No complaints with the power steering. It's pretty responsive. Reasonable weight. I think most people will be happy with it. This isn't a sports car, so I'm kind of reluctant to take it on the turning circle, but it does have all-wheel drive for good traction, so let's see if we can spin it out. A bit of body lean, but I would expect that on a soft, comfortable suspension. Aside from the body lean, we're doing pretty good here. I don't have any tire squeal at all. Very impressive. You know, I've been driving this for 3 days. In the city commuting, I have no gripes. The acceleration's more than adequate. Nice brakes, good cornering, soft ride. The only thing we haven't evaluated yet is the fuel economy. And that's what we're doing next. Just a note, in the month of August and in the desert, these are the temperatures we see for our testing. Going from 100 to 117 degrees. Doesn't do much for fuel economy. Causes it to drop quite a bit, as it has on the cars I've been testing for the past 6 weeks. We'll see what happens with this vehicle. On the freeway, the passing power of this 4-cylinder engine is more than adequate. As long as you're not carrying a heavy load. We just completed 50 miles of expressway and freeway driving, around 65 to 70 miles per hour. Right now our computer is showing 24.5 mpg. I tried slowing down to 65 straight to up it to 25 mpg, but we're just not getting there. Okay, this is day 2 of our fuel economy test. We reset the computer, did 52 miles of driving. 50% city, 50% freeway. There you go, 20.1 mixed MPG. With the temperature running around 105 degrees. And 2 miles later, we're up to 109 degrees and dropped to 19.5 MPG. We're going to reset the computer and do some super heavy traffic in the city. We're not going to be moving very much, burning up a lot of fuel, at 108 degrees. This should be interesting. We're still in stop and go traffic and the sun's gone down, but it's not much cooler. 104 degrees. Continuing on. Okay, I've been running around town for the past 5 hours, racking up around 26 miles. We're going to pull over and see what our in-city heavy traffic fuel economy is. Stand by. Here you go. 26 miles, 19.5 mpg. We drop down to a cool 99 degrees. We're going to reset the computer and do one more fuel economy run. It's 109 degrees outside. And this is a freeway trip. Here you go, 16 miles. We hit the 25 mpg mark just by 1 point. Hoorah! In regards to the fuel economy, obviously if the 4-cylinder engine came in 2-wheel drive instead of all-wheel drive, fuel economy would be slightly better, but it doesn't. That's what you get if you order the 4-cylinder, the 6-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. In any case, you'll get better traction on wet roads in rain or snow. If you want 2-wheel drive, you have to go with the smaller 3-cylinder engine, and I'm not sure what the fuel economy figures in the real world are for that. I haven't driven it. So after driving the EcoSport for a week, here's my take. The engine and transmission provide more than adequate acceleration. The ride is very comfortable. The handling is very good. Nice brakes, nice steering, good build quality, comfortable seats. Really nothing to bitch about. That is, unless we take a close look at the fuel economy. 23 to 29 mpg would be nice if we got it. In this heat, 19 to 25 is all we got. In other vehicles I've driven this month didn't do very good either. I'm sure this will do better in cooler climates. And that's our take on the EcoSport. Here are some links to some other compact SUVs we've driven. Just click and watch.